Have you ever stood in your kitchen holding what looks like a perfectly healthy food and never once questioned whether it might be quietly harming your kidneys? If you're over 60 or caring for someone who is, this is a question you cannot afford to ignore. Because what I'm about to tell you may sound unbelievable at first, but it's something I've seen happen far too often in real life. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and I need to warn you, some of the foods Americans eat every week, foods we've been told are clean, natural, even good for digestion, can silently accelerate kidney damage when they're eaten the wrong way. There is no pain, no dramatic symptoms at the beginning, and no warning sign loud enough to stop you until kidney function has already declined. What makes this especially dangerous is that many of these habits feel healthy. They don't look like junk food. They don't come from a drive-thru. They come from home kitchens, from routines people trust, and from advice that was never meant for aging kidneys. And once the damage begins, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens quietly day after day while you believe you're doing the right thing. But here's the reason you should keep watching. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly which combinations put the most stress on aging kidneys, why the risk increases so sharply after 60, and most importantly, how to use these same foods in a way that protects your kidneys instead of exhausting them. By the end, you'll know what to avoid, what to change, and what simple adjustments can help your kidneys rest, recover, and last longer without giving up the foods you enjoy. As we get older, our kidneys don't suddenly fail, but they quietly lose their margin for error. In your 30s or 40s, the kidneys behave like a brand new water filter, fast, flexible, and forgiving. You can make small dietary mistakes and barely feel a thing. But after 60, that same filter has been running nonstop for decades. It still works, but it no longer tolerates overload the way it once did. This is where white radish becomes misunderstood. On its own, it isn't a bad food. In fact, it's been praised for generations for supporting digestion and helping the body eliminate waste. The problem is not the radish itself. The danger begins when an aging body processes it under the same rules it used at a younger age, especially when it's combined with the wrong foods. I once met a patient in his early 70s who told me proudly that he ate clean every day. Lots of vegetables, light meals, nothing processed. Yet his lab results showed a steady decline in kidney filtration over just 2 years. He wasn't in pain, he wasn't sick, but his kidneys were quietly struggling. When we traced his daily routine, the issue wasn't excess, it was combination. Foods that were harmless alone became stressful together. Here's the science behind it. After age 60, kidney blood flow naturally declines by about 10 to 20%. At the same time, the number of functioning nephrons, the microscopic filters inside the kidney, drops steadily. That means fewer filters are doing more work. When certain food combinations increase oxidative stress or disrupt nutrient balance, those remaining nephrons fatigue faster. Damage doesn't happen overnight. It accumulates silently. Think of it like pouring cloudy water through an old filter. Once or twice doesn't matter, but day after day, residue builds up. The filter clogs, efficiency drops, and the system wears out far earlier than expected. This is why white radish becomes risky after 60, not because it's toxic, but because the aging kidney can no longer absorb mistakes without consequence. And the real danger doesn't lie in the radish itself. It lies in the very familiar foods people place next to it, believing they're making a healthy choice. But understanding this alone isn't enough, because there's another factor far more dangerous hiding in the most common combination people eat every week. Once we understand that aging kidneys can no longer tolerate small dietary mistakes, we need to talk about the first forbidden combination, because this one feels harmless, looks healthy, and is eaten by millions of people every week without a second thought. White radish combined with raw carrots or cucumbers is one of the most common clean eating habits I see, especially in light salads, slaws, and detox-style meals. People choose it because it feels fresh, cooling, and easy on digestion. In fact, many believe this combination protects the body. But for aging kidneys, the opposite can quietly happen. I remember a woman in her late 60s who told me she switched to raw vegetable salads every afternoon to give her kidneys a break. Within a year, she noticed subtle changes, more nighttime urination, mild ankle swelling, and fatigue she couldn't explain. Her blood pressure was fine. Her diet looked perfect on paper, but her kidney markers told a different story. The problem wasn't vegetables, it was how they were combined. Here's what's happening biologically. White radish is naturally rich in vitamin C and protective antioxidants that help reduce oxidative stress on kidney tissue. But raw carrots and cucumbers contain an enzyme called ascorbinase. This enzyme actively destroys vitamin C when these foods are mixed together, sometimes eliminating up to 70 to 80% of it within minutes. What you're left with is a meal that looks healthy but has lost much of its protective power. For younger bodies, this loss may not matter. But after 60, when kidney blood flow is already reduced and antioxidant defenses are weaker, losing that protection matters a lot. The kidneys are forced to filter waste with fewer shields against oxidative damage. Over time, this accelerates nephron fatigue, the slow wearing down of the kidney's remaining filters. The danger is how silent this process is. There's no sharp pain, no immediate warning, just small signs, darker urine, heavier legs at night, restless sleep that most people blame on aging. But aging isn't the cause. Repeated biochemical stress is. Now there is a solution. Cooking changes everything. Light heat deactivates ascorbinase, making these foods far safer together. Adding an acidic component like lemon juice or vinegar early can also neutralize the enzyme. These small adjustments dramatically reduce kidney stress without forcing you to give up foods you enjoy. But knowing this still isn't enough, because what comes next is even more common, even more overlooked, and far more dangerous for aging kidneys. Now that we've uncovered how a healthy vegetable combination can quietly drain kidney defenses, we need to look at a habit that feels even more innocent, because most people don't even realize it is a combination. Eating fruit immediately after a meal that includes white radish is one of the most common routines I see in older adults. Apples, oranges, grapes, or berries right after lunch or dinner feel light, refreshing, and responsible. Many people believe they're helping digestion or ending the meal clean. But when this pattern repeats day after day, aging kidneys begin to pay the price. I once worked with a retired teacher in her early 70s who followed this habit religiously. Every dinner ended with fruit. She rarely ate sweets. She walked daily, yet she complained of constant fatigue, shallow sleep, and waking up multiple times at night to urinate. Her kidney numbers weren't alarming, but they were steadily drifting in the wrong direction. Nothing stood out until we examined timing. Here's the science behind it. White radish and many fruits contain natural plant compounds that interact during digestion. When they arrive in the gut together, especially in older adults with slower digestion, they can increase the production of metabolites that interfere with metabolic balance and thyroid signaling. Over time, this disruption affects energy regulation, sleep cycles, and fluid balance. And when nighttime fluid balance is disturbed, the kidneys never fully rest. Studies show that after age 60, digestive transit time can slow by 30 to 40%. That means food combinations stay in contact longer, increasing biochemical interaction. The kidneys are then forced to manage unstable electrolyte shifts and excess metabolic byproducts for hours, often overnight, when they're supposed to recover. Think of it like running a washing machine nonstop without letting it drain properly. Nothing breaks immediately, but wear builds up quietly, cycle after cycle. That's exactly what happens when this habit becomes daily. The solution isn't to fear fruit, it's timing. Simply spacing fruit 3 to 4 hours away from meals that include white radish dramatically reduces metabolic stress. This one change often improves sleep depth, reduces nighttime urination, and lightens kidney workload without removing any food from your diet. Before we go on, take a moment and ask yourself, have you been eating fruit this way for years without realizing it? If so, you're not alone, and acknowledging it is the first step toward protecting your kidneys. But even this isn't the most dangerous mistake, because the next combination is built on a belief so deeply trusted that few people ever question it. After seeing how timing and food pairings quietly strain the kidneys, we need to address a belief that's even more deeply rooted and far more dangerous after 60. This is the idea that certain foods or supplements are always strengthening, always nourishing, no matter when or how they're used. One of the most common examples I see is combining white radish with tonic foods or supplements meant to boost energy and vitality. Many older adults turn to these with the best intentions, to feel stronger, to age better, to avoid illness. I once treated a man in his early 70s who had started a daily routine of supportive supplements alongside his regular meals. He believed he was protecting his kidneys. Instead, within months, he felt heavier, more fatigued, and noticed swelling around his ankles by evening. What went wrong wasn't excess, it was conflict. Aging kidneys don't respond well to mixed metabolic signals. White radish has a natural effect of stimulating elimination and downward clearance. Certain tonics and supplements, on the other hand, signal the body to retain store and build. In younger bodies, this push and pull can be balanced, but after 60, the kidneys struggle to reconcile these opposing demands. From a physiological standpoint, this creates metabolic congestion. The liver and kidneys are forced to process compounds that compete rather than cooperate. Research shows that renal clearance efficiency declines steadily with age, and by the early 70s, filtration capacity may drop by up to 40% compared to young adults. When conflicting inputs arrive together, waste products linger longer in the bloodstream, increasing inflammation and fluid retention. This explains why some older adults feel worse, not better, after adding supportive routines. More fatigue, heavier limbs, foamy urine. These aren't signs of aging. They're signs of overload. The solution isn't to fear nourishment. It's separation and simplicity. Using strengthening foods or supplements at different times and avoiding white radish on those same days often relieves kidney stress within weeks. When the kidneys receive one clear signal at a time, they cope far better. But here's the part that truly matters. Even this mistake, serious as it is, doesn't compare to the final combination, because the last one doesn't just strain the kidneys. It can determine whether they recover or cross a line they can't come back from. And that's why the next section is the one you should not miss. We've talked about combinations that quietly drain kidney strength over time. But the final mistake, the one I see most often missed, is the one that separates kidneys that can still recover from kidneys that slowly move toward permanent damage. This last forbidden combination doesn't look dangerous. It doesn't cause sharp pain. And that's exactly why it's so risky. White radish combined with cold, highly fibrous foods eaten late in the day creates a perfect storm for aging kidneys. Many people choose these meals at night because they feel light, easy, and safe. But for kidneys over 60, nighttime is not the time for stimulation, it's the time for repair. I remember a patient in his late 60s who came to me complaining of poor sleep and constant nighttime urination. He told me I eat very clean at night, just vegetables and light dishes. On paper, his meals looked ideal. In reality, his kidneys were never getting a break. Every evening, digestive stress increased abdominal pressure, disrupted circulation to the kidneys, and prevented normal nighttime fluid rebalancing. Here's the science. During deep sleep, kidney blood flow is supposed to stabilize, allowing filtration systems to recover. But cold, difficult-to-digest combinations slow gastric emptying and increase gas and pressure in the abdomen. This pressure compresses renal blood vessels, reducing oxygen delivery right when kidneys need it most. Studies show that repeated nighttime disruption of renal circulation accelerates functional decline and worsens nocturia, waking to urinate, one of the earliest warning signs of kidney stress. Think of it like shutting down a factory for maintenance, then forcing the machines to keep running all night. They don't break immediately, but the damage compounds, night after night. This is where the line is drawn. On one side, kidneys that can still recover with small changes. On the other, kidneys that slowly slide toward chronic failure because they never get the rest they need. The solution here is simple but powerful: warmth timing and restraint. Eating white radish only earlier in the day, avoiding cold fibrous pairings at night, and choosing gentle warm preparations allows the kidneys to enter repair mode during sleep. Many patients notice fewer nighttime bathroom trips and deeper rest within weeks. And if you're over 60, this is exactly why you should not turn away now. Because understanding this final point may be the difference between protecting your kidneys or watching them fade quietly over the years ahead. Before we end today, I want you to remember one important thing: kidney damage doesn't happen because you failed. It happens because no one ever explained these small but critical details clearly enough. If you've recognized some of your own habits in this video, don't feel fear or regret. Feel empowered, because awareness is where protection begins, and small changes made today can save years of health tomorrow. If this video helped you see your daily meals in a new way, please save it. Not for me, but for yourself, and for the days when you need a reminder of how to take better care of your kidneys. And if you care about staying independent, sleeping better, and protecting your health as you age, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Every week I share clear, science-based medical insights designed to help you protect your kidneys before serious problems appear. There is real hope here. Aging does not automatically mean kidney failure, dialysis, or a life controlled by medication. With the right knowledge and the right choices, your kidneys can stay stronger longer. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video, where we continue learning how to protect your health one simple decision at a time.